chapter 2, which is the price gap war. This is the new home versus resale price gap, and these are something that we covered back in January. As you can see from the title at the bottom, it was 30th January 2024. That was almost about 6 months ago in exact, okay, 30th January. Today is the 30th of July, right? And the gap between back then in fourth quarter 2022 and fourth quarter 2023 between new homes and resale was 80% then to 60%. But before I dive into how much is it right now, I want to share with you the 3 en bloc cycle that happened since as early as 2016 to what it is today, and how we're going to measure make sense of the right price gap to enter the right segment. Because whenever you buy anything, there's different segment, right? There's new homes, there's resale, and there's also sub-sale as well. And how can we make sense of that? So this is the 3 different segments that we see. At the top, you see new home segment. That means you buy in new homes in 2016, which is the 3 en bloc cycles ago. And of course, if you were to buy a resale, that would be the second one. Your entry by way of resale, that would be the second chart that we see here. And of course, sub-sale will be the third chart that we see here. Okay, so we have 2 timestamps. One will be Q3 2020, the other one will be another Q3 2023, and these are 3 different en blocs timing that we have seen based on cycle. The very first one that we see using resale and new homes back in Q3 2016, resale is just 12.6% lower than new homes. And we all know that new homes are typically about 25% to 30% in premium compared to resale property with all else equal, okay? But this is 12.6%, and that makes new homes very undervalued, okay? And when you look at resale against sub-sale, sub-sale is actually cheaper than resale at negative 16.1% cheaper. So resale we're going to about $1,200 per square foot, close to 1,003, and sub-sale is going to about 1,001 there. So that is something very undervalued given how sub-sale was selling at a point in time, and there's some lopsidedness in PSF back then in these 3 different segments. So if you were to look at the new homes and sub-sale, price were actually at about 30% in gaps, okay? And you fast forward to Q3 2023, we see that new homes and resale were at about 48.2% difference in price. And of course, moving down here, resale and sub-sale were closing up. In fact, sub-sale is right now overtaking resale at 1,829 per square foot, comparing to 1,577 PSF. And that is a difference of 13.8%, okay? So if you were to look at these PSF and also percentage differences, you can tell that if you were to buy new homes and resale, definitely resale is overpriced. The market literally took over here 63% for new homes to enjoy 63% growth over the period of 2016 to 2023. And for resale, it actually grew the lowest because it was heavily overpriced. And when it comes to sub-sale, it was one of the most valuable property because it's way underpriced, right? And that said, it actually enjoyed the highest growth at 67% being underpriced. Given all these numbers that you're seeing right now, how many of you are already very confused at this point in time before I go further? If you feel it's overwhelming and confused, it's like overwhelming and confused. If you get what I'm saying, okay, just type got inside the chat, so I know GOT, so I know that you know what I'm saying. Okay, over here what we are trying to do is to let you see that which market segment by way of comparison they are actually undervalued, because once it's underpriced, you know where to go in. Okay, Robert says confused. Okay, right. Okay, some says overwhelming. All right, and some says got it. Okay, awesome. Tracy got it as well. We have Cassandra is confused. Sub-sale is what? Okay, so Natalie asked what is sub-sale. Okay, to give you more clarity here, sub-sale means that you buy directly from the developer, but you sell before the TOP happens, okay? Or rather before CSC happens. So what is CSC? CSC is 1 year after the TOP period where you are still paying progressive payment. So the fact that if you are buying from someone that is selling during progressive payment stage, you are buying as a sub-sale. Okay, if you are selling while you are paying progressive payment, okay, that means you buy from the developer and then you sell, then you are selling as a sub-sale seller. Okay, that's what sub-sale means. And in today's time and space, we have, a lot of sub-sale happening because a lot of launches happened 4 years ago and they just achieved TOP right now. So even though they are TOP, they are ready to move in, these TOP development are still serving progressive payment, and hence they are considered sub-sale. Okay, so these are also for people who doesn't want to wait by buying directly from the developer, and at the same time still want to be the first occupant to occupy the unit as brand new. So they buy from someone else that has bought directly from the developer and buy as a sub-purchaser. I hope that gives you context of what sub-sale is. All right, so either a sub-sale purchaser or a sub-sale seller. In this instance, we are saying people who enter as a sub-purchaser. Okay, right. So moving into that, okay, we want to know what about now? How are the gaps right now? Okay, because if you look at new homes are 48% from resale, which is quite typical. Okay, and of course resale are supposed to be a lot more cheaper than sub-sale, and we are saying 39.8%, which is also pretty common. And of course, new homes and sub-sale are right now at about 27.8%. So what about it right now? So if you look at it right now, new homes are about 2,356 per square foot, and resale are around 1,655. Okay, and that's based on first quarter 2024. That's about 42 percentage difference. So the gap is right now dropped by 6 percentage point from last year Q3 2023, from 48.2 to 42%. Okay, and of course, if you look at resale to sub-sale, right now it's just 12.2%. So from 13.8 right now it becomes 12.2. Okay, but this is based on overall sub-sale. But if you really dive into, so over here I just want to share sub-sale and new homes as well, it is about 25.1%. Okay, so it's about 2 percentage point difference. So that's it. If you really want to put them into a chart basis, this is exactly how it looks like. So I'm not adding any new things here, okay, in case you are confused. I'm just putting them into a chart basis of what you saw just now. So it's easier for you to see at the 3 different timestamps, from the 2016 en bloc to the 2023 en bloc, and of course what happens today. Okay, so having said that, considering only 2024 quarter 1 sub-sale that has already TOP, okay, like I said, TOP, they will have sub-sale could consider products that TOP last year as well, okay, but we are not considering 2023 products that TOP. We're only considering those that TOP in 2024. The average sub-sale prices of this unit is already 2,182, comparing to overall sub-sale projects, okay, and that is 1,884. This increment shows that there is already a 24.2% difference already between resale and just sub-sale. Okay, but of course, if you were to look at even new homes and sub-sale, the gap is right now 8%. Okay, so new homes and sub-sale, the gap is 8%. Imagine if you are a first, purchaser that you want to occupy a home, which would you buy? All right, is it a new launch or is it a sub-sale? Which one is a better deal? Noting that it is 8%, and previously it was 25%, and Q3 2023 was 27%, and Q3 2016 was actually 30%. All right, so play a game with me. Which market do you think is actually a better buy? Considering that if you are going to be a first occupant and you are going to enjoy the property first time, you don't mind waiting. Okay, you just got married, but you don't mind waiting 3 years later to move in, etc. Which one will you buy? Noting that new homes versus sub-sale is just 8% difference. So type in your answer inside the chat, so I know that you could see this or not. Okay, because only if you could see this, you can then know how to select the right segment. Because if you can't, then it's very hard for you to make sense of the market, right? Okay, right. Okay, so many are saying new, and some say sub. Okay, right. So new homes are typically, of course, a lot more expensive, and the fact that new homes are so close to sub-sale, where sub-sale by the following year will become a resale already, how does that look like? That means new homes and resale are supposed to be very far apart, right? But the new homes are right now just 8%. So most of you will reply new. The answer is correct. New homes is actually undervalued. Okay, because typically it's supposed to be 30% difference, but right now it is only just 8%. So the upside potential for new homes will then go exponentially, because the sub-sale will change into the resale the following year. So how many of you get me so far? If that's you, just type get inside the chat. Okay, so I know that you're getting me, all right, because this is very important. Okay, I want to make sure that we get it right, and I know that this is something very high level, and if we don't get it right, it's very hard for you to make sense on which market to put yourself into. All right, awesome. I see many of you are saying get. All right,